Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
And I'm Weston Pugh, and we are filming our 23rd episode today.
23rd. It seems like yesterday.
It does. It does. Things have gotten smoother. We feel like we've kind of found our groove.
Hopefully, yep.
A little bit more every day.
Yep.
Smiles come a little more naturally, not so butterflies. So if you like what we're doing, we'd love to hear from you. Text us, email us, make comments on the show. But let's go ahead and jump in and talk about some of the new homes on the market. And this week, we had a lot that came on the market.
We had a lot that came on. Yeah, last week was super busy. And I think the first one we wanted to talk about today is 612 Canterbury Street. And 612 Canterbury Street is in Euless. This is probably kind of the western limit of I think where we have been in the last year or so. It is a really great half duplex that is located so close to DFW Airport. It's amazing.
It is. This is one of those locations. So we helped the actual buyer buy this, the sellers buy this home about 2.5 years ago. And at that point, Glade Road really hadn't turned into anything. And it is remarkable what the difference is today. So there's now a Cinemark out there. There's a whole shopping center that's grown up. LA Fitness is there for you. And one of the things that the current homeowner loves about this home and hates to see it go is the proximity to both Fort Worth and to Dallas. And when you really look at it on the map, the other thing you notice is how close it actually is to Arlington.
Yeah.
So if you're going to any of the major places in the Metroplex, including Denton, you're in a great spot. So this is a great property, and we think that right now it's meeting a lot of the needs that people have in that area.
It is. Now, this is a really nice 2-bedroom, 2-bath home. It's a little over 1,100 square feet. It had some really nice renovations done in the last couple of years. The previous owner, I think, had done some foundation work to it and had really made it a cute house. But this owner has kind of taken it to the next level with his taste and style.
So one of the things that has happened in here is that all the carpet was removed in the main living areas, kitchen and dining area, and has come back with a wood-like product, which adds a really clean, modern feel. It's also really
warms it up.
Yep. It's great for allergies and it's great for cleanup. This home also has 2 bedrooms. At the back or at the front of the duplex that have brand new renovated bathrooms as well. So walk-in showers, new tile, new countertops. Here's a quick view of what the kitchen looks like. It's light, bright white cabinets, open to the living room as so many people want. It does have full-size washer and dryer connection, and one of the best things is that the HVAC was replaced in January of 2019. So
when people talk about it being brand new, in this case, it's literally brand new. So this is a picture of the guest bath, and you can see some of the really intricate tile work that he had done in the vanity here. Has almost kind of a barn door to it there that obviously slides open and closed, and then the flooring, that terracotta color of the floor really just kind of melds into all the other colors that he's brought in.
Yep. So it's a really clean property. It also has a storage shed that's on the back, in addition to an on-site little closet off of the patio. And one of the great things about this one is that there's an actual fence that you could actually close on the driveway. So it's a really private fence. This is a great view of that. Again, this property is centrally located to just about everything in the Metroplex, whether it's Fort Worth, Dallas, Arlington, or Denton. Get on the highways that are right there around you and get going. This comes in at $200,000. And is $179.86 a square foot.
Yeah, which is for a well-designed home in this nice of a neighborhood, really a great value.
It really is, and the traffic that this house has had really does show that it's priced right at that sweet spot. So we're going to come back to Dallas now, and we're going to go into Oak Lawn, and this is 2605 Maple Springs, and this is actually one of the last neighborhoods, Oak Lawn Heights, in Dallas, besides Perry Heights, that is in that range that can almost be a starter home.
Yeah, it's for single-family homes in the Oak Lawn area. You have Perry Heights, Oak Lawn Heights, and Cherrywood Park, and that's really it.
Yeah.
And it's such a great little, well-defined neighborhood. You have, Cedar Springs on one side, Maple Avenue on the other. On the north, you have Hudnall. And then that's really kind of a divider between the Cherrywood Park neighborhood and Oak Lawn Heights. But then on the southern side, you have the original Cedar Springs Creek that runs through there that is, home to a lot of wildlife. There are hundreds of ducks and another hundreds of ducks.
Come spring, they're everywhere. This location is really great because you get Wycliffe also that'll connect you both all the way to 75 and to the toll road. 35 runs down the western side, so you can get off at Medical if you're coming north or south and get right to the house. Great grocery stores in and around the area. Love Field is no more than a 4-minute Uber ride. And then also my favorite restaurant for sushi is Oishi, and it's right around the corner. So.
And it's right around the corner from my favorite sushi restaurant, which is Sushi Sushi.
You're Sushi Sushi, and I'm Oishi, so they're on Tuesday nights.
It's a great 2-bedroom, 1-bath home. It's had a lot of renovating done to it. The outdoor lighting is really magnificent. It just makes this house seem like kind of a mini castle. The home is elevated on the front, so in that picture it was taken from the sidewalk level, and it just really kind of elevates the entire property and gives you just this kind of majestic feel to it.
Yep, and this house has had like a light renovation done, so you've got new paint on the ceilings, walls, original hardwood floors. Kitchens were redone with the previous owner. The current owner right now redid the bathrooms, and did some work on the deck to actually kind of make it a little more friendly and usable. This house also has a detached 1-car garage, exterior lighting, and a really nice full iron gate on the driveway, so you can actually have all your cars behind this, and it locks. It's a great extra that not all the homes have in this area. It is one of the, if you're looking for a true Tudor and you're looking for that stone brick combination, this is one of them. You'll also notice that in this one there's actual stained glass that is original from the property.
Yeah, and that is an oversized 1-car garage that allows you to have room to pull a car in. You've got a lot of space toward the front end of the car that you could have like a small workshop, or even a small artist studio. And then, as Weston was saying, the deck on the back is like super duper inviting, because you've got these big French doors that open out onto it from the kitchen there. Kitchen's been done very, very nicely with granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. And just, this is one of those move-in ready homes, and it is one that we had the pre-listing inspection done on. Right. So it's priced based on everything that everybody knows condition-wise about the home. And it's priced at $340,000, and that is about $292 a square foot.
Yep, and if you want to come by and see this home firsthand for yourself, Robin Kerpeel on our team will be having this one open on Sunday from 2 to 4. So swing by, take a look, and we'd love to get your feedback on it. The next house that we're going to look at is going to be 9910 Royal Lane, number 205. So we're going to switch gears, and we're going to go from a duplex home now to we're going to look at what a condo is.
And this is really, when you look at it, it's more of a townhome, although legally it is a condominium. This is one of the very few FHA-approved complexes that is still left in Dallas.
And I think that's critical because so many buyers are looking for FHA-approved, and they don't realize that it's difficult to get approved. And this complex has done the job to keep that designation
for years. And it is, condo financing is one of those things that when the market's really good, condo financing is easier. And then when the market gets a little harder, condo financing gets a little tighter. Right. But the one thing that you get with that FHA approved complex is it very rarely does that change much. There are conventional loans that you could do 3% down on this condo or 5% down today because the market's so great. But 5 years from now, if the market has taken a little bit of a turn downward, condo financing might get a little harder.
Right.
But because you've got that FHA in your back pocket, it still would be easier to sell to for another buyer to buy.
Correct. And this is a great location too. So if you work in and around the Richardson area, TI, you need access to 635 or to the upper portion of 75. This is great connection. Royal will get you anywhere you need to go, all the way to the other side of the toll road. And then the deal is you kind of sit on the top of Lake Highlands, so you can get into everything that's down there below. A lot of restaurants are coming in and around that Walnut Hill area, both on the west side of 75 and also on the east side. So
there's a really great meat casino there. There's
Yes.
a Lifetime Fitness right there. There's so much going on.
Trader Joe's just showed up over there as well. So
Yeah, that new Walnut
the shops at Walnut.
Shops at Walnut is just an amazing place. And then there's an Alamo Draft House farther
right.
down Skillman, right there at Skillman and Abrams. So, you are within minutes of everything out here.
So this is a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and it comes in at 1070 square feet. It was built in 1981. One of the great things about this home also is it is going to have a light remodel that's been redone. Repainted throughout the entire house just after the last tenants left. And it also has its own covered 2-car parking space, which are side by side. And that is a big deal for many people who have like an oversized car or just one car and don't want anyone parking next to them. The other thing too is that you also have storage outside. So on the outside of this is a great complex. It's located a little bit further into the complex, which gives you a nice private, not so much drive-by traffic from the other homeowners. And there also is a pool on this property.
Yeah, it's a solid surface all the way through. The kitchen, the kitchen's been remodeled with quartz countertops, stainless steel appliances. But more than that, the bathroom has really been done nicely. And the tub has been removed. It has been turned into a big walk-in shower, double vanities in there, big oversized medicine cabinet that's mounted into the wall. It is really, I think, done very nicely, and it is in condition. It's going to last somebody a good many years in their ownership.
I'd agree with that. And the other thing too that the owner has done right now is they've actually applied to the HOA Architectural Review Board in order to get the windows replaced. So this house will not only have the renovations that people and buyers are looking for today, but it's also going to have energy efficiency items that again help on a monthly cost and just the wear of the house. So if this is something that you're interested in, we'd love to hear from you. It is priced at $175, and that comes in at $163.55 per square foot.
Yep. Yeah. The next one that we'd like to talk about today is a home that we just listed out in Heath, and this is on the Buffalo Creek Golf Course.
Correct.
And it is a phenomenal home. 805 White Buffalo Lane, and this is located to the eastern side of Lake Ray Hubbard. It is, you take I-30 and head west. It's really, I've driven it with traffic. I've driven it without. It's maybe 30 minutes out there with traffic.
Right.
And it's, 20 to 25 without.
So the area over there is also one of those neighborhoods that's really grown up with a main exit off of 30 right there. So they brought in big chain grocery stores. Lowe's is out there, and there's all the infill that associates with that. And this property itself is one of those ones that actually sits on the golf course. And one of the great things about where this one sits on the golf course is that it's about 150 yards away from the green. So you actually don't have anybody that's walking past your house, and you don't have the fear of those stray balls that come off. So if anybody could hit this house, we kind of joked around and said you needed to be on tour and not playing on this golf course. So one of the great things about this home is it is loosely a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and it is 3,474 square feet, built in 2013.
It's an amazing home. This home really works well if you've got somebody that wants to have the golf course home, wants to be able to entertain, but doesn't necessarily need 4 or 5 bedrooms. The rooms in this home are generously proportioned because they really fit a home that would have the 4 or 5 bedroom pretty easily. in the entertainment spaces.
So the interesting thing about this home, the third bedroom is also can double as an office on this one. And off of the office, there is an additional space for a workshop. So it has a uniqueness to this home. The finish outs on this home are amazing. The level of quality that they've used in the master bathroom. Here's a good shot of what you're seeing. The built-ins on this house are built on site, and this is a knotty alder is the product that they're using on this, the wood. And in the right-hand picture, right-hand corner, you can see where you're going into that study. Wood floors throughout this house. And as I was saying, the fit and finish, you have onyx countertops that were used both in the master bathroom and also in the powder bathroom. When you go into the kitchen, you'll see that that level of detail continues with the level of granite that was chosen, and also the sink itself is one solid piece of stone that has been carved to fit that
I hadn't
sink.
noticed that.
Yep. So great. It's a great home for downsizing. One of the things is that so many times people downsize into a home and they're concerned about losing all the space that would allow them to entertain, because that hasn't stopped. It's just they don't need all those additional bedrooms. And this is one of those homes that they've thought about this, and you have all the amenities that you want inside of a kitchen, including a grotto wine bar with wine cooler, to area for a dining room that could probably easily seat 12 if you wanted to. And then when you go into the living room space is probably 27 by 26 with a really well-centered fireplace with an oversized wooden mantle.
And this home's got a lot of room for expansion in upstairs if you did want to go ahead and build that out.
It's one of the best selling features.
Yeah, it's and the owners have some very simple plans that were done, or that I think they were provided by a previous owner, that kind of show how that layout could be done. But it's for the price point that you're in, to be able to have this quality of construction in this location is amazing.
And it's very interesting. So we just had this house as an open house this weekend, and we were kind of really thinking it was going to be a downsizing house, and we did get quite a few downsizers, but the same was true on the opposite end of the spectrum. And there were so many people that were excited about being able to buy a house that didn't have all those bedrooms, but they might in the future need them. They were okay with the ability to be able to build upstairs. So what a great home. This one is priced at $550,000, and that brings us in at $158.32 per square foot.
And we've priced this, when we started looking at the pricing on it, we compared to other homes that are right there on the golf course. And there are lots on the golf course in this community, and those that are not. And for those that are on the golf course, that's a really good value.
I can't remember off the top of my head when we looked at the comps if it was the least expensive, but it definitely was on the lower end of the price point for being on a golf course.
Yes.
So if any of these homes look like something that you'd be interested in, or if you know somebody that might be interested in them, give us a call, text us, or reply to this show, and we'd be happy to get back with you and let you know.
Yep.
All right. So that concludes the first half of the show, and we're going to move right in the second half, and we're going to talk about closing costs.
Closing costs.
So closing costs are the mythical thing. What are they? Are they fees? Who pays them? Do I get any of this money back? Where does it go? And so what we've decided to look at is, what are these closing costs for a buyer? Because there are closing costs for a seller and there's closing costs for a buyer. But we just wanted today focus on what the closing costs are for a buyer. So without further ado, let's jump on in there.
Okay. So starting off, one of the first fees that you're going to have after you're under contract is to pay for the home inspection. And the home inspections are going to run, depending on the size of the house and the things that you want inspected, they can run anywhere from $350 to $700, and they are paid at the time the service happens. One of the things that we always want to prepare people for is that the home inspection is going to be kind of a 30,000-foot overview of the condition of the home, and that there might be other inspections that are called out after this.
So during the mechanical inspection, there will be a time when the inspector will note that an additional inspector, for whether it's plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, would need to come out there and look at it. The other one that they can sometimes call out is a foundation inspection, in which we would use an engineer company. So if that's a situation, we've got plenty of those at our disposal that we can help you with.
Yep.
Good deal.
Okay. The next fee that we wanted to talk about is the appraisal fee. And the appraisal fee can be, again, anywhere from $450 to $700. It's going to depend a lot on how big of a home you're wanting the appraisal done for, how far out of the city is it, is it a rare one that the appraisers are going to have to, work harder to get more comparable data. And it's one of those fees that you're probably going to give a credit card to the mortgage company for, because once the appraisal is done, you've really, you've gotten the value of it. So it is not something that's ever going to be refunded to you.
It is a fee.
It is a fee.
And the next fee that goes back off to the lender is going to be an application fee. And one of the things that an application fee is, it will vary from price to price depending on who your lender is. One of the things that we kind of like to talk about is, are they requiring you to pay an application fee up front, or are they allowing you to pay after your option period and further on into the actual process? If someone asks you directly up front to pay for it, I would consider waiting. And maybe it's time for you to look for a different lender. And again, we have people that can help you that don't require that upfront payment of that.
Many times the lender wants the application fee because they want to get that buyer to commit to go with them. And that's not always in the buyer's best interest.
It's kind of a locking mechanism that
Yeah.
they use.
Yeah.
So
Many lenders kind of shift this fee over, and they call it a lender origination fee.
Right.
And the origination fee is usually about 1% of the loan amount. And it's really there are a lot of people behind the scenes that are working on that transaction or on that loan that you never hear about. And so this origination fee is compensation for the loan officer, but it's also to cover the costs of originating that loan by a lender.
So it's not just the underwritings, there's more than that.
Absolutely.
But this kind of wraps up all the lender fees that there are for right now.
Yeah, they're depending on which lender you go to, there might be other fees that are in there with different names. But if you get a fee sheet from a lender and you don't understand any of the things on it, certainly reach out to us. We're happy to help.
And the next one is a survey fee. And a survey is something that's done on the actual property to determine meets and bounds of this. This is in the contract. It's kind of negotiated if you can use the old one and if your lender accepts it, or if you need to get a new one. And quite oftentimes, if it's in an area that we're not sure about, we would suggest go ahead and pay the $500 to get a new one.
Yeah, I guess it was about 10 or 12 years ago, lenders and title companies started allowing buyers to use a previous survey on the property. But one of the challenges in doing that is if there's anything wrong on that survey, you don't have any recourse in that because that survey was not prepared for you. So, certainly consider that. We can talk about the benefits and the reasons not to do that as we go through a transaction with you.
Yep. And last, we're going to move in, not last, but moving into the title company portion. This is called the escrow fee. And the escrow fee is when your title company aggregates all of the paperwork. So they look at the contract and everything that needs to go with the contract, title commitments, HOA docs, and they're assembling this. And then they're going and working with the buyer's lender, and they're assembling everything, and they're providing, and they're doing this coordination so that when it comes to closing, there is one set of docs that have both buyer and seller's costs and amount that they're getting back or making off of the house.
Title companies are an independent third party to the transaction, so they don't represent the seller, they don't represent the buyer, they don't represent us. There are a lot of times that we will put a preferred title company into a contract, but it's only because we know their fees meet what the market, what the general market is, because many of these fees that we've talked about can vary from title company to title company. But we also know that you are going to get good service working with some of our preferred vendors.
Absolutely. The other way that you're going to be protected by your lender standpoint is having an appraisal done. And there is an appraisal fee, and the appraisal fee actually is something that you receive, and they're going to take and pull 5 or 6 comps, and they'll categorize them, prioritize them for you, and then they'll make the adjustments to the property in order to see what the value of your home is.
Yep. And
this is the appraisal that is done, and it's between $400 and $750.
And that's usually done after the option period is expired. we will usually delay to have that ordered, just because we don't want to spend that money until it has to be spent.
Right. As long as with our lenders, because we work so well with them, like Jeff said, once option period is over, that's when we actually get that going.
So the next fee that we're talking about, I think, is a tax service fee. Is that correct? Yeah, tax service fee. So our tax service fee, I say our tax service fee, the tax service fee is the fee that a buyer will pay so that the lender can hire an outside service to make sure that all of the property tax bills come to the lender. And this is really only paid when you have an escrow account with your lender. And so you pay a one-time fee up front. The lender hires a third party to ensure that all those tax bills are going to get to the lender at the appropriate time of the year.
Yep.
And good.
And then we skip into prepaids. And prepaids are the way that you create a savings account by buying or paying your first 12 months of insurance. It goes into an account that is held by the lender.
Yes.
And then when the tax bill and when your insurance comes in at the end of the year in November, these are made for you. Any overages or if you're short, depending on where your taxes went, you'll be in contact and they'll let you know.
That's right. And so really this all kind of drills down to how do you get to the final number that you have to bring to closing. And so you really can start with your credits or debits, which is going to be your down payment. The down payment, your closing costs, and your prepaids. Those together all add up to be your debits. And then you get the balance that out on the other side with the earnest money that you've paid, any seller credits that you're getting, whether these are closing cost concessions you've gotten up front or whatever they might be. And then you also get a credit for the loan amount that your lender is giving you.
Yep. And then this is what will aggregate and give you the final amount that you're supposed to bring to the table. And many times we tell people now to be very cautious about, I think we've talked about this before, about cyber fraud. Wiring instructions never change, so be sure that you always send it to the right person. And then that all happens at the closing table, but all of this has to be sent back and has to be verified, and that's called the funding portion. And so you don't actually leave often with keys at the closing table. You get the email from us and the phone call that says, congratulations. Now it's time to disperse keys because funding has taken place and your insurance is in place.
And that usually happens within 2 or 3, 4 hours after you've signed everything. So if you're a buyer, you've got a mortgage company involved, we always recommend that you close late morning to early afternoon at the latest. That way we make sure that everybody gets keys that day.
Absolutely.
And what happens next?
The final thing is to move in.
Yep.
Let the fun begin.
Yep.
So we hope you found this interesting. We hope you found it helpful. If there are points in it that at any point you'd like more information on, please let us know. We'd love to chat with you and go over. If you have a closing statement, please let us know. We'd be happy to kind of line by line it with you and help you out with that.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, well, thanks so much for joining in. I think that now it's time for us to do the wrap.
Yeah, it's been, we've really appreciated you tuning in today. There are lots of ways to reach out to us. Like us on our Facebook page. Visit us with our Instagram, which is at Updike Pugh. You can also find lots of really cool information on our website. Website's got lots of checklists, things to do, things to don't do. And then last of all, homeprice.fyi. That's a great place to go. Put your address in, and then you can get a value for your property. So, and that's given to you instantly.
It is. So you'll also see how to reach out to us. Text us, email us, or call us. We'd love to hear from you. I keep saying that, but yes, we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.